What's going on? Wake up with me, DJ Cadero. Yeah. Welcome to the Diaspora Show with me, your host, DJ Cadero. Here on 87.9, The Culture, where the culture of hip-hop and R&B lives. It is Friday, Flex Friday, on June 26, 2026. Wow, it's 666. Hey. Yeah. So this is how the Diaspora Show works, for those that don't know. First, I give you guys the Diaspora News. That's top stories going on in Africa, the Caribbean, and anywhere else that the African diaspora is centered. Again, the Diaspora News. Then I give you guys words of wisdom through the African proverb of the day. Know the African proverb of the day. That's words of wisdom either through a life lesson or an affirmation, huh? How about that? How do you like that? Then I am the baddest Afro DJ in the game. So I give you guys the best beats, the best vibes, the best melodies, the best harmonies, anything that'll make you shake your body. Oh, huh? That's okay, huh? And that's how the Diaspora Show works. How do they say, in a nutshell, huh? In America, in a nutshell, Omera. Well, with that being said, now that you guys know on how the Diaspora Show works, I guess we can move forward with the Diaspora News, huh? All right, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go!
Live from 879 Studios in Omaha, Nebraska. This is Diaspora News with your anchor, DJ Cadero.
That's me. Let's get into it. What's up? Woo! Yeah. What's up? What up? What's up? What up? Namna Gani, habari Gani, mambo vipi? Chamoge keep sing. What's up? Ero aku, idinade, ambosi ainya, bunda. What else? Dana put. Wagwan, que paso, que lo que onda? What up? It's me, DJ Cadero. You are now locked into the Diaspora News on the Diaspora Show here on 87.9 The Culture, where hip-hop, or the culture of hip-hop and R&B lives. It is Friday, guys. It's Flex Friday. That means that I'm flexing all Afrobeat, all on my piano, all dance hall, all morning long. Do you love it? Oh, Yawa, do you love it, Jaber? Jaber, unasikia? Do you love it? Unanipenda? Yeah, for those that want to get in the conversation with me on today's show and any other time, especially throughout our other programs on this app, on this radio station, go ahead and click on the group chat tab. Follow the process to have you create a username and password after you click on the group chat tab. And then you can go ahead and get in the conversation in the chat. K Budget says, "Good morning, Cadero." Good morning, K Budget. What up? I see you got an African dancer, huh? In the chat, I see you, K Budget. As far as for the top stories today, we got three stories. Two of them, some heavy hitting stories, and then the last one, it's a little lighter, huh? It's a little light. How about it? All right, let's go ahead and let's get into our first story, and it deals with protected status for people that you may or may not know, huh? This is the Diaspora News on the Diaspora Show. We're going to be talking about the diaspora. So we'll start off with the news coming out of the United States. A devastating Supreme Court decision affecting hundreds and thousands of our Caribbean brothers and sisters. All right. So we begin with unsettling news for the Haitian diaspora and the Caribbean diaspora at large. In the United States, in an anticipated 6-3 decisions, meaning that 6 judges voted for, 3 judges decided against. But the U.S. Supreme Court has cleared the way for the current U.S. administration to strip temporary protected status, known as TPS, from hundreds of thousands of Haitian and Syrian nationals. For over a decade, this program has allowed our brothers and sisters from Haiti to work legally and live in the United States. A protection originally granted following the devastating 2010 earthquake. The majority of the court, who side politically with the conservative side, ruled that the federal law of temporary protected status largely bars judges from reviewing the executive branch decision to terminate the TPS designation. For more on this and exactly what this means, we go on the ground. On the ground. Imagine, yes, we have people on the ground, no matter. Let's take a listen.
More breaking news. A Supreme Court ruling this morning allows the Trump administration to end TPS for Haitian and Syrian immigrants. About 350,000 Haitians and 6,000 Syrians could now face deportation. CBS News Miami's Tanya Francois is your reporter live in Coconut Grove with more details. Tanya.
That's right, Naja. We are here at Miami City Hall, where Haitian activists had already gathered. They were speaking before the commission about 287G, which is another immigration issue, when this ruling came down. Now, what this decision means is that hundreds of thousands of Haitians who have called the United States home, many of them right here in South Florida, will effectively lose their status. Now, Haitians were first given temporary protected status in 2010 after the earthquake. Since then, the country has been in repeated turmoil with kidnappings, gang violence. Now, this morning, the ruling means that Haitians who sought refuge here will now have to return as soon as next month. Joining me now live is Tessa Petit. July 2nd, you're saying that is the deadline?
That would be the deadline because the current extension expires July 1st.
So July 2nd, we can see a lot of Haitians leaving here from South Florida. They will be deemed, their status will be
effective July 2nd. Their legal status in the U.S. In the United States will have expired, their driver's license will have expired, and their work permit. That means that the tens of thousands of Haitians who are working in our healthcare system, who are working in our airports and our retail and restaurants will all have lost their work permit.
And now this is a story we are staying on top of, and we will, of course, have more as the day progresses. For now, live at Miami City Hall, Tanya Francois, CBS News.
Once again, if you're just joining in, I'm DJ Cadero, your anchor here on the Diaspora News, on the Diaspora Show, exclusively on 87.9 The Culture. It's Friday, Flex Friday to be specific, on June 26, 2026. 666. Don't get scared, guys. Don't get scared. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. And I prayed last night. Don't worry. But yes, we're getting into our first story on the Diaspora News. The U.S. Supreme Court sides with the current presidential administration to end temporary protected status for Haitian and Syrian immigrants. For more on this, we just were on the ground at CBS Miami. We'll also go to CBS New York. Both Miami and New York have considerable amount of Haitian immigrant populations. Let's go to CBS New York and also get the word on what exactly the mood is on the ground.
Developing this morning, the Supreme Court has cleared the way for the potential deportation of hundreds of thousands of Haitian and Syrian migrants. Thousands of those migrants are right here in New York City. Aziza Schuler joins us live from Midtown with more on the ruling. Aziza.
Well, Cindy, essentially what this 6-3 Supreme Court decision did was hand the Trump administration the power to end temporary protected status. Now, this means deportations are looming for tens of thousands of Syrian and Haitian immigrants here in the state of New York. That includes 5,400 Haitians in New York City alone. Now, TPS was never meant to be permanent. It is supposed to be, well, it wasn't a promise of citizenship, rather. It Congress created it in the 1990s for people who come from home countries where they were too dangerous to return to. And local Haitian advocates say nothing about Haiti has changed. They say gang violence has killed thousands of people this year alone. Now, at a church in Brooklyn Thursday, community leaders began preparing families for what could come next, connecting them with immigration attorneys and helping parents make plans for their children, as well as finances if deportations move forward. For many families, they've built a life here in America. They've worked, they've paid taxes, they bought homes, started businesses, and raised children here.
Basically, it says that the United States will no longer serve as a country of refuge for people who are seeking refuge from persecution, from terror, from despotism, and so forth.
We're people. We are your nurses' aid. We are your doctors. We are your lawyers. We are your engineers. We are your social workers.
And here's what's still not clear yet, how soon any of this starts. Advocates told us there's no firm deadline. Governor Kathy Hochul, Attorney General Letitia James, as well as Mayor Mamdani have all urged Congress to extend TPS. But the White House has made its position clear that if you are not you do not have legal status here in the United States, that you should be deported. For now, we're live in Midtown. Aziza Schuler, CBS News, New York.
If you are just tuning in, once again, I am DJ Cadero, your anchor here on the Diaspora News, on the Diaspora Show.
Paying for Black Friday traffic?
Come on, cut it out. On the Diaspora Show, exclusively on 879 The Culture, where the culture of hip-hop and R&B lives. We're getting into our first story on Friday, June 26, 2026, Flex Friday, and dealing with the temporary protected status of Haitian and Syrian immigrants ending after yesterday's Supreme Court ruling 6-3 against 6 Supreme Court judges voted to end temporary protected status against 3. What's your guys' thoughts? I mean, this is a lot. The fallout from this is immediate. Overnight, there's approximately 330,000 Haitians that are now in legal uncertainty and will now be vulnerable to deportation. These are your community leaders, guys. Like, you guys heard that news clip. Haitians that are doctors, Haitians that are lawyers, engineers, professors. Human rights organizations like Doctors Without Borders are sounding a massive alarm, though. They stress that forcing people back into Haiti right now is pushing into a severe humanitarian crisis. In the capital of Haiti, Port-au-Prince remains a heavy and unstable place under the control of anti-government rebels. Court justices of the Supreme Court, Sotomayor and Elena Kagan, and Mrs. Jackson criticized the decision, highlighting that there was a clear evidence that racially discriminatory undertones played a role in the political push for the current U.S. presidential administration to end the protection statuses. For our diaspora community, this is a moment for solidarity. We'll be tracking the legal resource clinics opening up across the country to support affected families. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that first story again. The Supreme Court yesterday voting to end temporary protected status for your Haitian brothers and sisters. Let me know if you have any Haitian family members or friends, or maybe even somebody that you work with, that you're not 100% sure on if they will remain in the United States. In the chat, DJ Mr. Soul checks in. What up, DJ Mr. Soul? You guys can check out the DJ Mr. Soul show at 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. And Friday every day he gets busy in the rush hour, but not on Friday. So on Friday, you guys should be checking out DJ Blackout. One bad DJ himself as well, 5 p.m. for the rush hour. All right. Let's get into our second story. Yesterday, we reported that Venezuela had not one, but two earthquakes that hit back to back, at least reaching a 7.0 on both earthquake Richter scales. So turning our focus to South America, our prayers and thoughts are with the people of Venezuela as they experience the aftermath of the back-to-back massive earthquakes. On Wednesday evening, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake was followed just over 30 seconds later by an even more powerful 7.5 magnitude earthquake, flattening buildings and knocking out infrastructure in Caracas and the port city of La Guaira. Acting president, again, because their former president was kidnapped by the United States presidential current administration. So the acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, who replaced Nicolas Maduro, who again is being kidnapped and was trafficked to the United States by the current U.S. administration. She has declared a nationwide state of emergency. As of today, the official death toll has climbed past 580 people, with nearly 3,000 other people injured. Rescue teams are currently working through the golden window of time. This is the time where they can still get to people because of oxygen and or maybe other bodily concerns. For more on this, we go on the ground in Venezuela. Let's take a listen.
In Venezuela this morning, a race against time. Rescue teams and volunteers working around the clock to find survivors and recover the missing buried under collapsed buildings. The twin earthquakes striking Wednesday night during a national holiday when many families were at home. New satellite images showing the massive scale of devastation. One of the hardest hit areas, La Guaira, located just north of the nation's capital, which interim President Delcy Rodriguez called a disaster zone. Christian Carreño says he lost everything and that people are still trapped underneath what's left of his apartment building. Mother of three, Diana Delgado, desperate to find her missing 8-year-old son. Alessia Santa Croce, still in disbelief she made it out alive.
My sister called me and told me, like, you have to look for a safe place. And I was telling her, like, there is no safe place here. It's burning. The buildings are burning. How are we going to reach a safe place?
How lucky do you feel to be alive?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
As the search for survivors continues, pledges of aid pouring in from all over the world, including the U.S.
They had a tremendous earthquake last night that you read about, massive in Caracas. But we're going to help them out.
The State Department deploying 2 specialized search and rescue teams and mobilizing more than $150 million in humanitarian aid. Welcome news to Venezuelan Americans in South Florida who still have family overseas. Do you have any loved ones or anyone?
I have a sister, niece, and 2 cousins over there. They are fine. They're scared.
What did she feel?
¿Qué sentiste? Terror. Terror.
In Venezuela, thousands of other families are still searching for answers. Photos of the missing are spreading across social media, shared in the hope that someone somewhere will bring them home.
You can see the volunteers again here hard at work packing all of these boxes. The U.S. military also saying they're going to be providing aid. U.S. Southern Command or Southcom saying they're pledging aircraft support, logistics, as well as life-saving capabilities to help the people of Venezuela. Laura and Garrett.
All right, George Solis starting us off this morning. Thanks, George.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't
Once again, if you're just tuning in, I'm DJ Cadero, your anchor here on the Diaspora News, on the Diaspora Show, exclusively on 879 The Culture. It's Friday, Flex Friday, on June 26, 2026, and we're getting into our second story. Again, giving an update on the aftermath of the 2 earthquakes that rocked Venezuela yesterday evening. The situation is incredibly intense, as you guys heard through that video clip. Medical facilities in Venezuela are already facing severe shortages before this disaster. Again, their president was kidnapped by the current U.S. administration, and he's being held against his will. And hospitals are now completely overwhelmed. The main international airport has suffered structural roof damage and remains completely closed. Well, in true global spirit, international aid is beginning to flood in. So maybe some of you guys that are listening, maybe you guys are helping with this. Specialized urban search and rescue teams, which include sniffer dogs and emergency medical supplies, have arrived from neighboring countries like Mexico, Chile, Colombia, and El Salvador. Muchas gracias, personas. The U.S. Southern Command has also moved Navy ships and aircraft into the Caribbean to assist with heavy logistics. I bet. Yeah. We'll keep you guys updated on the diaspora-led donation drives for medical and hygiene kits as they come in. And if you yourself have any resources that you want to get out there, please put it in the chat. Or if you have my personal contact, go ahead and let me know so I can go ahead and spread the message. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that second story. Again, a devastating dual earthquakes. DJ Mr. Soul says in reference to the first story, they never tired of suppression, in reference to the Supreme Court yesterday voting to end a temporary protected status for Haitian and Syrian immigrants. And K Budget says this is why voting matters, also in reference to the 6 Supreme Court judges that voted to end temporary protected status. Again, 6-3 ruling decision. Lita says, "What up, Cadero? What up, Lita? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up?" But yeah, let's go ahead and get into our third and final story. Again, I've hit you guys with 2, again, heavy stories. Let's go with a lighter story. As you guys know, the World Cup has kicked off this month. So let's go ahead and bring you guys to where the beautiful game is uniting us all. The historic 48-team FIFA World Cup group stage is wrapping up its final matches here on Friday, June 26th, 2026. And the knockout picture for the brand new round of 32 is officially locking into place. For those that are not familiar with soccer or FIFA and more familiar with American sports like American football, and I guess basketball is not necessarily an American sport, but maybe you're familiar with the concept. So what we just watched was the first round of the playoffs. Now we're getting into the second round called the knockout stages. Basically, it's you just play one game and you're out of here. You're out of here. You do me a favor, please.
Do me a favor, please.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying,
huh? That's called the knockout stages. So for the first time ever, 10 African nations qualified initially for the tournament. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8. I need to brush up my numbers in Spanish. Let me see if I can count to 10 in my father tongue, Jaluo, huh? In Doluo. Let me see if I can do it. Achiel, Ario, Adek, Angweng, Abich, Achiel, Ario, Aboro, Ochiko, Apar. Woo! Yes! I can still count to 10 in my father tongue. Yes! Can I still do it in Swahili? Another day. But anyways, 10 African nations qualified. I know some of you guys are listening like, what is going on? 10 African nations qualified initially for the FIFA World Cup 2026. And those African teams are making the continent proud. So Morocco, South Africa, and the Ivory Coast have all secured their tickets into the next knockout rounds. If you're looking at a confirmed bracket, we already have some matchups to look at this upcoming weekend. But before we get into that, yesterday was pretty monumental because Ivory Coast did it. Ivory Coast, for the first time in the country's history, qualified into the knockout rounds. For more on this, we'll go to Fox Sports. Let's go.
How about those scenes? How about Sebastian Becasese climbing onto the fence in the stands again because of this? Group E is in the books now. Germany had already clinched the top spot. We knew that. Ivory Coast had secured second place, and Ecuador also move on as one of the third best placed finishers. So the bracket continuing to take shape. Germany will head to Boston now for the round of 32 to face a third place team. Ivory Coast are going to take on the Group I runners-up in Dallas. And then Ecuador, who live to fight another day. It is unclear, though, where they will play. Wow, so 3 teams go through. It's goodbye to Curacao, but what drama for Ecuador. They came into the game today without a goal, without a victory, and they are through to the knockouts. Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic with me, watching these scenes. I mean, Sebastian Becasese, when they got the goal, the second goal, he climbed up there to his family. We're seeing tears amongst the supporters. Thierry, we said before the game, and we said at halftime, the good thing was they only had to do one thing today. They knew what their objective was. made those two enforced changes because of injury, but now they go into the knockout stages with a defeat on their books. Wonderful scenes for Ecuador. Ivory Coast have reached the knockout stage for the very first time. They have today beaten Curacao by 2-0. Thierry, no surprises though. We've got plenty of good players.
Yeah, when you look at the team from Ivory.
Once again, if you're just tuning in, I'm DJ Cadero, your anchor here on the Diaspora News, on the Diaspora Show, exclusively on 879 The Culture. It's Friday, June 26, 2026. It's Flex Friday. Specifically, we're getting into our third and last story again. Three African teams out of the 10 that qualified initially for the World Cup have already punched their ticket into the knockout round. Again, the second round of the FIFA World Cup, including Ivory Coast yesterday, who beat Curacao. Sorry, Curacao. I know, respect to my Caribbean nations, but they beat Curacao 2-0. Nil meaning 0 for those that only speak American English. In the chat, speaking of languages, DJ Mr. Soul says, what number is A? If you're just tuning in, I was seeing if I could still count to 10 in multiple languages and in my father tongue, Doluo. The number 5. I always forget this. The number 5 is abit. It's abit. It's pronounced abit. But I grew up in America, so I probably say it with a different twang. But yeah, it's abit. Abit. But it sounds like the word that you use for I think it's the mother of a female dog. I'm not sure. You know, these American terms. Alita asked, yeah, what number is that? Alita says, you just spat all over that mic. Yes. But yes, yeah, number 5 sounds like the American word that you use for a female. Is it the mother of a female dog or the female dog? I'm not sure. I don't know. But yes, the curse word, a beast. I don't know. If you've been living in Luoland, East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, little parts of Ethiopia, maybe you guys can pronounce it better than I can. I just know how to say it, but I might not know how to pronounce it. I know probably my dad here in the U.S. He speaks the Choli fluently, and it's the same number system. I'm sure he's laughing at me right now as I speak, because he's like, that's not how you pronounce the number 5. And it's funny because it's almost spelled the exact same way as that term, that curse word term, you know, without the T. So it's B-I-C-H. So it's a B. So A-B-I-C-H without the T. So it's interesting, huh? But it means the number 5. Here's also something for and then Lita says, yes, the female dog. Okay. Here's something else that's interesting. So in the Lul number system, everything is a power of 5. Are you hearing me? Right? Everything is a power of 5 instead of like the American English number system where everything is a power of 10. Everything is a power of 5. One day I'll give you guys like a deep dive on different African number systems and how they compare with the American English, the one that I'm used to here in America. But yeah, everything is a power of 5 in the Lul number system. Anyways, let's keep going. So, as far as this weekend's matchups that you guys should be paying attention to, Canada and South Africa face off. They play each other on Sunday, June 28th. And then the Netherlands will play Morocco. So the teams of Egypt, Ghana, and Algeria are entering the final group matches, meaning that they have these games, Egypt, Ghana, and Algeria, to play before pretty much they have to win. It's win or get in. Otherwise, they have to go home. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back. Bye-bye. The top 2 teams went from all 12 groups, alongside the 8th best third place finishers, will survive to play in the single elimination bracket known as the knockout stages. It's down to the wire. So the calculations are here, and the energy across the diaspora is electric. I know that yesterday's game against Curacao, it was kind of bittersweet. As much as I wanted Ivory Coast to win, I didn't want Curacao, our awesome, mighty, lesser-known Caribbean nation, to leave, man, to leave. Let me know if you're from Curacao. What's going on? I know that you guys speak a similar Creole to Cape Verde, and you guys also have a similar flag. It's kind of funny, huh? Curacao, Cabo Verde, Cape Verde. Well, that is your guys' news update for the diaspora news today. Again, on this Flex Friday, June 26, 2026, we're going to ease your mind and lift your spirits with a music break. So we're spinning the global sounds today, guys, today. But before we get into that, I want to give you guys the African proverb, and then we'll go ahead and get into the Flex Friday mix. In the meantime, let's go to this one song music break. I played this guy's song in the past, but I don't think you guys understand on how awesome this is. Again, this is Monrovia and his song called Heavy Foot. Monrovia is an artist. So for those that are from Liberia, L-I-B, Liberia stand up, especially my Minneapolis, Minnesota family, Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park. What's going on? Zane Boulevard, I see you. What up, L-I-B-O? And then Fargo, North Dakota, having a seismic LIB community, and also Sioux Falls, South Dakota, for those that don't know, and Des Moines, Iowa. What up, LIBO? So Monrovia is from Monrovia. He was born in the capital of Liberia, which is Monrovia, and he chose to name his band or himself after the capital of Liberia. He was adopted by an American family when he was 7 years old, and so they moved across the United States. And then it was when they lived in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where he was exposed to folk music. So he began exploring his interests in folk, and he learned how to play the ukulele, the guitar, and other instruments. And he is branded as a pioneer of, are you ready for this, guys? It's called Afro-Appalachian music. Afro-Appalachian music. So it's a mix of folk, bluegrass, and whatever type of country, the alternative rock that there is. But imagine a guy from Liberia is playing Appalachian music, and they call it Afro-Appalachian music. So that's going to be your music break for today. We'll come back and we'll have the African proverb of the day. I am DJ Cadero. This is the Diaspora Show here on Flex Friday on 87.9, The Culture, where the culture of hip-hop and R&B lives. This is Monrovia and his song, Heavy Foot. Let's go.